Imagine you are on your deathbed, and standing around you are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. These are the ghosts of the ideas you never acted on and the talents you didn't use, looking at you with angry, disappointed eyes because you could have brought them to life. But now, they must go to the grave with you. How many ghosts will be around your bed when your time comes? Most people spend their entire existence living in demo mode, wandering in circles because their default setting is to live on autopilot. Their eyes show them a wall, and their brain simply says, "This is where we stop," never realizing that the world just beyond those parameters is malleable and without limitation. Today, we break that cycle because there is a moment when you must realize that no one is coming to save you. You cannot wait for anyone else to give you permission to chase your dreams or to ignite the fire inside you. You must accept the fundamental truth. Your mind is the architect of your destiny, and your thoughts are the seeds of your future. This is the start of the toughest battle you will ever fight. The battle against the weakest version of yourself. That version of you relies on excuses and inconsistency, but you are here to kill that weakness and step into a version that stands tall and moves with intention. Every morning is a new door, a new opportunity to reset, refocus, and rebuild the foundation of your destiny. If you do not take authority over your mind in those first moments, the world and its distractions will take control for you. This is not something you listen to casually. It is a journey to develop a mind that refuses to give up. A mind that creates success instead of excuses and clarity instead of confusion. Prepare yourself, because the life you want is on the other side of the hard work you are currently avoiding. It is time to stop being a spectator of your own journey and finally get behind the wheel. Welcome to the ultimate guide for a life without limits. Only you decide how limitless you are. Every morning is a new door, a new opportunity, and a new beginning. No matter what failures haunted you yesterday, the morning gives you another chance to reset, refocus, and rebuild. Understand this. How you start your morning determines how you train your mind, and how you train your mind determines how you live your life. The morning is not just the beginning of the clock. It is the birthplace of your mindset, where your spirit is aligned and your focus is either strengthened or scattered. The first tool in your architectural kit is gratitude. The moment your eyes open, before you reach for your phone or replay yesterday's stress, take a breath and acknowledge that you are here. Gratitude is not a cliche. It is strength. It shifts the entire atmosphere of your mind, turning chaos into calm and training you to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. A grateful mind is harder to break. It doesn't panic at obstacles. It prepares for them. Next, you must speak life into yourself every single morning. You must talk to your mind before your mind starts talking to you. If you do not consciously take authority over that inner dialogue, your fears, doubts, and past experiences will do it for you. This is about command, not waiting. Speak with intention and tell yourself the truth. I am capable, I am disciplined, and I am becoming better every day. These are not empty affirmations. They are instructions to your mind. You must also protect your peace before you allow the world to enter your space. This means that before you check messages, emails, or social media, you give your mind a moment of stillness. You cannot build a strong mind in the middle of noise and information overload. Claim those first minutes for yourself to stabilize your inner world. In that quiet space, clarity begins to form, allowing you to move with purpose instead of pressure. Finally, understand that movement is not optional. When your body moves, your mind wakes up with it. Even a few minutes of motion stimulates energy and breaks the inertia of sleep. This is about activating your system and reminding yourself that you are in motion, not drifting. In this foundation, you must always choose discipline over motivation. Motivation is temporary and mood-dependent, but discipline is what carries you forward for a lifetime. You do the work regardless of how you feel. A mind trained by discipline does not look for excuses. It looks for execution. Remember, one strong morning can change the entire course of your day, and your day repeated over time becomes the foundation of your destiny. You are the architect. Start building now. Motivation is a lie. It is temporary, mood-dependent, and it will abandon you the moment things get difficult. If you only work when you feel like it, you have already decided to be average. To become the architect of your destiny, you must trade the fleeting spark of motivation for the unbreakable armor of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between the goals you've written down and the life you actually lead. You must understand that discipline is not punishment. It is the ultimate form of self-love. When you refuse to eat that junk food, when you get up to study while your friends are out, or when you hit the gym at 4 a.m., you are saying to yourself, I love you too much to let you remain mediocre. It is the decision to forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect. To build this armor, you must learn to callous your mind through suffering. You don't train just for the race or the business deal. You train for life. You train so that when the tragic 2 a.m. phone call comes, or when your business collapses, your spirit does not crumble into pieces. You must adopt the mentality of a warrior who does what they hate, but does it as if they loved it. Your stopping points are a fiction. You are likely operating at only a fraction of your true potential. To break these walls, adopt the ritual of the extra 22 seconds, or the extra rep. If you tell yourself you will run for an hour and 22 seconds. Those extra seconds aren't about the time. They are about the identity you are building. You are training your brain to know that you are someone who always gives a little more than is required. You must have the discipline to do 11 reps when your opponent stops at 10. Remember, the world will not believe it until you do. Real strength is revealed on the difficult days when you have nothing left to give, yet you show up anyway. You are the sole decider of where you stop. The armor of discipline is forged in the unseen hours. When the fans aren't watching, the coach isn't there, and it's just you versus the person in the mirror. Forge your armor now, or you will remain a prisoner of your excuses forever. Stop fearing the mistake. Most people are paralyzed by the thought of failing, but you must understand that failure is not a tattoo. It is merely a bruise. In the world of the successful, every mistake eventually becomes a legendary part of your story. If you are not making mistakes, you are not trying anything new. Thomas Edison didn't fail 10,000 times. He simply found 10,000 ways that did not work. He turned those failures into his education, and you must do the same. You must realize that the upside of progress is always greater than the downside of a mistake. You liberate yourself when you accept that there is more to gain from the attempt than there is to lose from the error. Inject yourself into the turbulence of progress. Our biology hasn't learned that the uncomfortable thing is the right thing. But you are the architect, and you know better. Mistakes are not obstacles. They are your curriculum. Stop comparing your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. You see people with a shiny exterior, but you do not see the reality of their lives or the burdens they carry. There is a great danger in comparing yourself to others because they are not you. The only competition that matters, the only one you can actually win, is the one against the person you were yesterday. If you can make yourself slightly better on a continual basis, you are leading a virtuous and successful life. When things go wrong, do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" That is the language of a victim, and a victim cannot build a destiny. Instead, ask, "What can I learn from this?" This single shift in perspective turns every setback into a setup for a comeback. Your success rate through every struggle you've ever faced is 100% because you are still here. You are undefeated in your ability to move through adversity. To build a life without limits, you must have a vision so clear that the work becomes fun. Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't see a grueling 5-hour workout as a chore. He saw every rep as a step closer to turning his vision into reality. When you have a goal, every repetition and every weight you lift is a victory. If you don't have a vision of where you are going, you will simply drift and never end up anywhere. Finally, take absolute accountability for your path. Your wounds might not be your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. The moment you point the finger at external factors, you give away your power. Proclaim that this life is yours, the successes and the errors alike. If you fall, fall forward. At least that way, you can see what you are going to hit and keep moving toward your destination. You are the author. Keep writing the next chapter. To truly master your existence and become the architect of your destiny, you must gain absolute authority over the 4 pillars that determine the quality of your life: your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. If you do not control these things, they will control you, shaping a world you never wanted to inhabit. The first pillar is your mouth. You must realize that your words are like arrows. Once they leave your lips, you cannot take them back. When you speak, you aren't just describing the world around you. You are creating it. If you constantly speak of how unfair life is, you are planting seeds of doubt and negativity, and you will have to live in the garden you create. Flip the script. Speak yourself into strength by using positive, affirming words. Tell yourself, "I am capable, I am disciplined, and I deserve success," until your mind has no choice but to believe it. The second pillar is your mind. It is the most powerful tool you possess, but it is also a battlefield where the war is won or lost before it ever manifests in your reality. If you don't take the driver's seat, your mind will live in a reactive state, driven by fear and anxiety. You must train your mind like an athlete trains their body, being deliberate about what you consume. Guard your mind against the garbage of toxic social media and negative news. Instead, use visualization to program your mind for success. If you can see it clearly in your head, you will start taking the actions necessary to hold it in your hand. The third pillar is your mood. Your mood is the lens through which you see the world. And if you don't regulate it, that lens will distort everything around you. Understand this fundamental truth. Your feelings are not facts. Just because you wake up feeling stressed doesn't mean your day is a catastrophe. Emotions are like waves that rise and fall, and you must learn to ride the wave rather than drowning in it. Use gratitude as a weapon to shift your energy. It is almost impossible to stay in a negative state when you intentionally focus on what is abundant rather than what is lacking. The final pillar is your money. Money is a tool that can give you freedom, or it can be a shackle that weighs you down and keeps you up at night. The rich dad mindset teaches us that the rich don't work for money. They create businesses and acquire assets that make money work for them. Most people are slaves to a paycheck, but an entrepreneur is a mindset that refuses to be a slave to money. Stop letting your emotions drive your spending. You must be proactive, budgeting, saving, and investing. Because financial freedom isn't about how much you make, but how much you keep and the legacy you build. Bring it all together. When you take control of these 4 areas, you stop reacting to life and start creating it. It won't be easy, and it won't happen overnight. But through discipline and intention, you will build a legacy that no one can take away from you. The control is in your hands. What are you going to do with it? There is an immense power in working in silence, while others seek immediate recognition and the applause of the crowd. Have you ever noticed that the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest, constantly chasing validation, while the strongest person moves in quiet awareness? Silence is not a sign of weakness. It is strength under control, pain transformed into wisdom, and discipline wrapped in patience. You must understand that when you build in silence, people don't know where to attack, and they cannot sabotage what they cannot see. Most people cannot handle silence. They talk because they fear being invisible. But true significance has nothing to do with the noise you make. Stop explaining yourself to those who are determined to misunderstand you, and guard your dreams like treasures, shielding them from the opinions and judgments of others. You must bring the mountain to you by eliminating every distraction that holds you back. For the next 90 days, I challenge you to cut out the noise, the alcohol, the weed, the porn, the video games, and the mindless scrolling. Replace these vices with 3 healthy non-negotiables: 30 minutes of exercise, 15 minutes of meditation, and a commitment to your education or craft. I don't care if you are tired, sleepy, or if it is raining. You must get it done no matter what. Remember, a man is rewarded in public for what he does in private. Stop telling the world what you are about to do. Steve Jobs once said that great things are worked on in secret and only released when they are ready. While the world is distracted by shallow conversations and temporary thrills, you must be in the dark room, developing the mental and spiritual foundation for your destiny. Growth is silent. You never hear a tree grow, but one day its roots are so deep that no storm can shake it. Use this isolation not as a punishment, but as a positioning for elevation. Do not seek permission to be great, and stop looking for a green light from people who don't share your vision. When you work in the background, no one sees you coming, and that is your greatest advantage. If you follow these rules and stay faithful behind the scenes, you will emerge from this season completely unrecognizable, with a magnetism and strength that the world cannot ignore. Your silence will eventually speak with more force than noise ever could. You are the architect. Build your masterpiece in the quiet.